you're listening to The Olive Tree with me, Julia Fisher, the programme that brings you news about what God is doing in Israel and the wider Middle East through the Christians who live there. Last week, we heard from Jonathan Miles, the founder of Shevet Achim, an organisation that brings desperately sick children from Arab nations surrounding Israel into Israel for life-saving surgery by Israeli doctors. Today my guests are Donna and Michelle, two volunteers from the United States who are working with Shevet Achim based in Jerusalem. Donna came 5 years ago. I asked her why.
When I first learned about it, it was clear to me that it was a work of reconciliation where, with the love of Jesus in the middle, people were drawn to the Father.
So you're prepared to come here and go into quite dangerous places like Gaza and various other Arab countries surrounding Israel and help to bring the children, the sick children out, the children who needed heart surgery.
That's right.
Did you have to learn the language?
I actually began to have a passion to learn Arabic after I first met the Gaza mothers and children and wanted to be able to communicate better with them other than just the language of compassion.
Tell me about some of the earliest families that you met and the effect it had on you.
At the time I first came, the men were still able to leave Gaza for work in Israel, and I met the mothers and children in the hospital, took them back and forth to the border, and visited them in the hospital. They were very gentle, very sweet, very welcoming of relationship. And that just clicked with me immediately. The first child that I escorted back and forth to Erez border was the mother of a little girl named Muna, and she was maybe 1 year old, but still very, very, very frail and small, even though she was healing from heart surgery. The mother was so excited to have another woman with her and someone who was interested in her baby, and it was just to me like irresistible opportunity to have relationship with her.
Because of course for many of the mothers coming from such places as Gaza, they've never been to Israel before. In fact, they've never been away from home. So for them, it must be very frightening, and it's your job to put them at ease.
Right. Yes. I think that the ability of compassion and just the joy of knowing that people are experiencing the grace of God helps put people at ease, even though we don't have to do much more than show up.
You then have more recently been to northern Iraq, to Kurdistan. Yeah. Tell me about that.
I've had opportunity to go several times, most recently for about 7.5 weeks, and the greatest joy of that trip is seeing families who have been here to Israel, had open heart surgery for their children, and gone home healthy and having experienced a totally different kind of culture, a totally different kind of relationship than they've ever had before, and seeing the impact that it has had on their lives, both physically and culturally and spiritually, of course.
What is it like in Kurdistan? What sort of conditions are people living in?
Well, really, Kurdistan has a variety of wealth and a variety of city life and very, very rural and simple families. And our families come from all of those backgrounds. Some very, very traditional Muslim families and some more secular Muslim families. So it has a very broad spectrum of lifestyle, and honestly, I felt very safe there. It's not like what you see on the news where it highlights battle zone areas. The Kurdish areas are actually very safe, and we could travel freely. So it's a beautiful land with beautiful people.
Let me turn to Michelle now. Michelle, you've joined the team here at Shevet Achim more recently, I think about a year ago. You too are from the States. How did you first get interested in this work?
Well, I first heard about the work when I was in Israel volunteering at another place, a Christian guest house, and And when I heard about the work, it interested me in working in the work that in the help it was giving to children in need of heart surgery, and just that idea of crossing the borders of different peoples with just that love of being brothers. And I heard about it and I applied, and when I didn't really know what I was expecting really, so even though it caught my interest, I didn't know I was going to be working with Kurdish people, and I didn't know anything about what I would be doing. But when I came, God just opened the doors for so many opportunities, and it's been really a blessing to get to know the work and the people, learning the language, and endless opportunities really. So.
You have spent several months this year living in Kurdistan, trying to learn the language. What sort of an experience has that been for you as a young American?
Well, it was an incredible experience. One of the greatest experiences of my life so far, probably. I loved the people before I went, because I had been working here in the Shevet house for about a year already. So I was already learning the language and working every day with these mothers who come here to the house full of fear and anxiety with these children so in need of help. And really I fell in love with the children. I fell in love with the mothers and the language even, and the whole process of being like a family to them was beautiful to me, and I was so grateful to be here. And so the thought of going to Kurdistan was always like a dream, to taste their life and to be with them and to rejoice with them, seeing their children well, and also to be with them, with the mothers of children who had passed away. And the whole circle of experiences was really incredible, and it was just that. And flying into Kurdistan, I didn't feel nervous, because it felt really like going home, because the people there were like family to me. And it did feel safe, like Donna said. There were places that we were cautioned not to go, but generally it was free travel, and in the homes, the incredible hospitality that they showed and treated us with so much honor and love that we were just overwhelmed, really.
You've taken us around the building here, which is a very large building, lots of people doing different things. And you have an apartment upstairs where the mothers stay with their children. And we've met a mother with a little girl who looks very, very sick. She's blue, she's tiny for her age. She's waiting to go into hospital in Tel Aviv in the next few days. So this mother, she looks so young, from Kurdistan. What sort of questions has she asked before she came here? What has she needed reassurance about?
Questions. Well, the main question that she's asked since she's here is, when will the surgery happen? She arrived earlier this week and definitely nervous for her daughter, and the first question was, when will the surgery be? And she hoped it would be that very minute, really, because all this time she's been waiting and watching as her daughter turns blue, passes out, and always on the edge, really, of life and death. So the main question is, I guess, can you save her, and when will it be?
So she will go in for surgery in the next few days. You then have to look out. They come back after a little while?
Mm-hmm. Yes, normally after the surgery they stay several days, maybe a week in the hospital, as the doctors watch over and make sure that the recovery is happening as it should. And then they come back to the home here, where we welcome them and provide what they need, the medicines, and usually it's a few weeks of returning for echoes at the hospital before they can be released to go home.
So what sort of a change do you see from the woman that you met in Kurdistan to the woman that you then take back to Kurdistan after this whole event?
Well, I suppose... Actually, I haven't seen the whole... Well, I suppose, yeah, the mother that we see in Kurdistan is very quiet and nervous, because they're not sure really of anything. But after coming here and receiving so much love and hope and seeing their child transformed, when we visit them, they really are glowing, and they're really like new. They have new life, full of joy.
Donna, if I can just turn back to you, what would be your comment about the effect that it's so simple, really? You bring a child into another country for surgery, but yet it's the enemy country, yet the enemy country cares for them. It's a powerful thing, isn't it?
It's very powerful, and I think the overwhelming sense of change that I recognize in the women and the children, and even in the extended family, is that they're valued, that they're truly a treasure to God, because these families are praying also for the lives of their children. And I know that they don't know how God is going to answer their prayers, but in His great way, which is a mystery to all of us, how He puts us together and brings His kingdom, He chooses to send people like us who bring what they really need, the true love of God and the grace of God into that family, and it results in the literal saving of the life of a child.
Donna and Michelle, two volunteers from America working with Shevet Achim, based in Jerusalem. And you're listening to The Olive Tree with me, Julia Fisher. If you're interested in helping Shevet Achim, either by offering your time as a volunteer or by sending a financial contribution, you can do this through the Olive Tree Reconciliation Fund, a small charity based in the UK that supports Jewish and Arab Christians. For more information, articles and books, please visit our website www.olivetreefund.org, where you can also leave a donation. If you'd like to receive our free bi-monthly newsletter, please either email inquiries@olivetreefund.org or write to me, Julia Fisher, at the Olive Tree Reconciliation Fund, P.O. Box 850, Horsham, RH12 9GA in the UK. Thank you for listening. Join me at the same time next week. Until then, goodbye.